Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today we are going to be covering the awesome Scarlet Enclave changes, and to me, this all but essentially saves the new raid and will allow so many people to get out there and clear it. This is on top of the already new changes that dropped last night. We had more in the AM, but I'd already made the video, so now I have to make another one covering it. But all in all, these are some fantastic changes. So I'm going to cover all the Scarlet Enclave changes, and we're going to switch it over here to the first blue post, and then we'll go over to the second one, just so you guys are aware of these changes as well as the new ones. So we have the Scarlet Enclave. Mason the Echo Berserk timer has been increased to 7 minutes. The Scarlet Cannonballs are now properly removed when the boss leashes and resets. Alexi the Beast Lord, Innervate, and Enkindle have had their periodic damage reduced slightly. The spell visuals for Wild Fisher have been improved, so those were definitely the two biggest things. Like, people were getting 2 or 3 stacks of that, and it was just instantly killing you. Like, DPS could barely survive 2, depending on your healing situation and what resistances you had. And then Wild Fisher, if you weren't using the fence to absorb it, you were going to get hit by that pretty consistently. I had a lot of guilty struggle with that, so hopefully it is now just sort of like a giant cone that you know to get out of instead of the little mine effect that we saw. Then Reborn Council, Blast Wave's vertical arc has a vertical arc from the knockback has been lessened. So people were getting what I like to call the alley-oops. They were getting launched from the other side right onto Herod's Whirlwind, and it was just instant death. So hopefully that type of stuff doesn't happen, and you don't just get RNG'd and killed from that type of thing and stuff happening. So anyway, let's switch it over and talk about the new stuff to Scarlet Enclave. So they said, "Hi all, we've seen a bit of confusion about the Scarlet Enclave adjustments posted in today's hotfix, which I just covered, and wanted to post an additional note ahead of tomorrow's North American recess to clarify that these are not the only adjustments we have planned this week. The adjustments detailed in the post earlier this evening are already live as of today, but the reminder of adjustments we have planned needed a bit more time of testing, but they are ready and waiting for deploy with regional downtime starting tomorrow." So now that the server has reset, these are live as well. Here's an overview of the adjustments coming at regional maintenance. Solastras, Beastmaster, and Mason have had their ads and their HP reduced by approximately 15%. Really good. Those were the 3 fights that after the week 1 of changes and things proved to be really hard, especially the Dragon and Beastmaster. Mason didn't really change at all, and it was left untouched, and my guild was able to one-shot that boss. So it was really no joke. But the Dragon and not being able to interrupt her, I really hope they fix that still, because like there's just weird spots where she'll sit there for over a minute and just chain cast her spells, so people can't DPS. But the whelps should be able to be handled more effectively and more easily. Then the big one that everyone will definitely love are these next 2 lines. Reborn Council, Lillian Voss, and Calderon have had their ads, have had their HP reduced by 10%. So there's no ads on Reborn Council or Lillian, but Calderon ads and just Calderon HP 10% nerf is huge. Then we have this one, and this is the one that I've been begging for a while. Reborn Council enrage timer from 5 minutes and 30 seconds to 7 minutes. So you now get an extra minute and 30, and they have 10% less HP. I think this is going to be a phenomenal change and help a lot of guilds be able to kill this boss and not have to go to ridiculous extents to do it, because the solution was, instead of suffer through it and grind and get better, it was bring 30, bring 40 people and blast it. And even then you were still like, you still had to bring quality raiders, and like 20-man guilds were just merging with other 20-man guilds and trying to give it a whirl, and that was just absolutely crazy. Lillian Voss enrage timer increased from 3 to 4 minutes. I never hit that. I never saw that to be too big of a challenge, but it took us like 5 or 6 wipes to get the mechanics down. It's just really healing intensive, and you just got to be pretty perfect and clean with it to get that kill. But pretty much everyone who killed Council killed Lillian, so it's not too bad of a fight. But All in all, still gives people more time, and like I said, if you can kill Council, you can kill her. Then Beatrix Trash lowered by 20%. I don't know if they mean the trash between the first and second boss, because that's definitely where you spend the most time killing trash, or if they mean the ads in the fight. I'd imagine they said Beatrix Trash, so instead of Beatrix ads like they've specified in all these, I'd imagine they mean the trash between the first and second boss as the Beatrix Trash, but we'll have to see. But yeah, that is definitely where you spend the most time killing trash. We apologize for the confusion on this. We had intended to combine our communications around these 2 rounds of hot fixes tomorrow for clarity, but there was a miscommunication that prevented that on our end. We will continue to monitor performance this next week's reset and make additional adjustments as needed. So not only are they saying that these are in, that we might see more if guilds start to hit big old roadblocks like Balin Calderon still continues to blast the crap out of people. He was hitting me for 8k holy damage auto attack, so Ashbringer is no joke, and you got to be on top of it. My guild never made it out of the first phase, but we only had like an hour of polls and learning, so it wasn't too specific there. But anyway, let's go over here to the players' voices and see what some people had to say. W update /10 character. Thank you. This is what we were asking for. Good stuff. Send it. This is still not going to be tuned for 20-man raids. At this point, we're not progressing bosses. We're progressing dev nerfs while we just hang on and throw a 30+ at a raid. I don't think that's true. I think that extra time is good enough. We'll have to see, but it definitely gives you way bigger window to have 10% less. Like 10% of 20 million is 2 million, so like that's a lot less HP, and you have a whole extra minute and a half, as well as people have learned mechanics, and people are getting their 2 set today for the most part via Chalice. So if you did your loot properly, you should have, gave everyone 1 piece of tier in the 2 weeks. This is what I did as a guild leader in my guild, so most of my entire guild is hitting their 2 set today, except for our healers, because unfortunately the DPS needed the pew-pew more than we needed the healing. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, that if you did loot properly, you shouldn't have this problem. Appreciate the effort you have put into this raid and don't want all the complaining to take away from that. But yes, thank you for listening to the player base. Any chance you'll seriously reconsider the nerf to rogue tanks, or at bare minimum, take a hard look at rogue tank competitiveness to Scarlet Enclave, because it feels like we are significantly underperforming compared to other tanks. Literally on the higher end, it is recommended you take a rogue. Like for Council, for Lillian, for Balin, you take a rogue because rogues have the highest chance to dodge. The next step is a Feral Druid. But with that debuff, Druid kind of gets crapped on. So rogues have the highest chance to just dodge the Ashbringer beating the shit out of you. And then we have cool, turn on the buff already. Sad to see the plug pulled on Beatrix way over the line IMO after the second nerf, but the reset seems pretty spot on. Glad to see enraged timers being loosened specifically, as I feel that strict ones are a pretty anti-classic mechanic. Absolutely, well said. I've been advocating for that for a long time. My guild was short-handed, and we managed to kill Mason with 18. His time being extended today to that 7 minutes, with his health also being nerfed by 15%, is definitely going to be doable with 20. Kudos on the nerfs, hopefully playability of the raid. Got to Council in a large pug on my warrior ult, and for some of those fights, solely Council, more is definitely not better in terms of fun. So flavor. The Council room is so small and cluttered, having 40 people there makes it hard to see the ground effects. Excited to bust it down with 20 plus 2 to 3 bench flexors, as the flex rate size was seemingly initially intended as also to probably facilitate real farming. Would love to see a revert on Shadowflame nerf for locks from the next phase, now that tier 3-4 piece is in the gutter. There have been over 15 hotfixes for Season of Discovery ever since you messed up the update to Dragon Soul and wrongly removed the progress of Battleground victories, not to mention all the promises of rework content and adjustments that were made in the interviews previous to the Cataclysm. So this is just talking about Cataclysm. Not the place to talk about Cataclysm, unfortunately. Council nerf is pretty significant. Those mobs don't have a shared HP pool. That is like a 30% HP nerf with another 20% leeway with the increase in rage. Exactly my point. You should be able to kill Council. That is huge. How to balance druids not get nerfed. Now these are some great adjustments. I'm just happy I didn't have to look on Reddit, Google Plus comment section of a video to find out what Agron is planning for Sod. I mean, Agron, just regardless of if this is Blue Post by Agron, but it doesn't really matter where he's posting. You hear about it everywhere. I'm presently surprised the brief conversation he and I had got to him. Thanks for the post and stuff in here. I hope it's just a start. Trash, the main problem in this raid, the fact that 90% of the community has a 3-hour hard cutoff time for raiding. There's way too much trash to clear. You can't even get a few attempts in at 3 to 4 of the bosses before people leave based on clearing time. Honestly, just a lot of people talking about it and a few other issues, but all in all, pretty freaking positive. So we love to see all of these people's voice and just really praising what's going on. But anyway, I truly hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tonight Sod Sabers will be raiding at twitch.tv/Kaghoe Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern, so stop on by if you want to watch this clear and blast. Hopefully we can get back to Balin tonight, and then we can prog on him for Wednesday and Monday, but time will certainly tell, and we'll have to see. So anyway, hope to see you there, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.